So this is a story about something that's completely changed my life. And it's just basically the way that I view things now. And it's become a part of me. And basically, I was jumping from job to job all the time. And I was finding that, I was running into the same problems. Like, I would manifest really good things. And then all of a sudden, I would get these issues that would pop up in every place. I think it was 2 years, I would change job like 3 or 4 times. I think I went from one job to another. I live in a small town, and they're owned inwardly by the same people. So yeah, I didn't really understand that to a degree. Like, I just kept jumping from the same job, which was owned by the same people. Now I could go around blaming them, and to be honest, there is an element of greed, like massively, and there is an element of other things going on. But this video is not about that. It's about taking self responsibility. So eventually I started to clock on to this, and I was like, why is it that every job that I go to, I run into these same issues? It can't be like the people around me or anything, it has to be like eventually you have to start looking at yourself. And I've been into self inquiry and looking into myself for many years. And I've also thought that I could attain a level of peace, a certain amount of peace. Well, I get into these jobs, and eventually I get unhappy, and I feel like hard done by, and everything's happening to me, and blah 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 blah. So eventually I start realizing, and I get this video that pops up on the internet, and it talks about, oh, everything happens through you, not to you. Well, I've heard this before, but this time it absolutely clicked. And I thought to myself, this video is talking so much truth. I'm going to start having a look when I'm at work and applying this stuff. So, when next time I went to work, I was getting a few problems, few issues like normal. And I started to look inside, and I realized that, as soon as this happened, I would feel a certain way. I'd have like a vibration in there, and it would be like a knot, and I'd feel hard done by. My mind would be kicking off inside, and I'd want to kick off, like I normally do. So this time I just started to observe this and just carried on in the work environment. Well, within no time at all, I'd say that I don't even know how long it took, but within no time at all, things started to change. And I started to see different things in myself and around me. So these sort of voices slowed down, and eventually the actual feelings stopped just through observing it and not buying into the idea that something is actually happening to me, and in taking self-responsibility of what's actually happening in the world inside me, the feelings that I'm producing, the thoughts that I'm actually paying attention to. So as I started to do this, I noticed that even the people around me started to change. And then I took it one step further. When I got something that I maybe ruffled me, and I wasn't for instance, I started to get a lot of peace, and a lot of contentment at work. And then I think that was noticed by a few people. And the natural instinct you would think is, oh, people are just gonna be really good, happy that you're happy. Well, it doesn't quite work like that, and the universe is kind of going to test you as well through these people, right? So for instance, they would give me jobs that I'd never had before, just to see how I'd react, the universe. So instead of curling up and being angry or feeling oh, why are they doing this, now they're trying to test the peace and blah blah blah, I started offering to do more jobs, and started to offer to be even more helpful, which is the complete opposite of the way I would have normally reacted. And what happened was it stopped. So yeah. And I can say now, that my experience at work is completely different. I actually really enjoy my job. I see it as a blessing. I spend a lot of time in silence, and I can separate myself from the atmosphere. And believe me, whenever you've worked anywhere in the restaurant business and it gets really busy and you've got people who can't control themselves, because that's very normal, and they're stressing around you and they're shouting and people are blah 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 and running around and, blah, blah, and you can like find that natural sense of peace there. It's almost like anywhere else is an absolute, it breeds, because yeah, like you're literally living, like I call it like almost natural ayahuasca, or a natural plant medicine. It's where life itself is like going so crazy around you, but yet you're still and centered, and it's not bothering you anymore. You don't even get the emotions that are going through your body. In fact, like you're in so much peace that at times you feel it starts to affect that, depending on how busy and how crazy things have gone and how down the spiral everyone is going, around you. So, yeah, this is like just a little bit of a positive story. And if you imply this into your own life, it can change your life, you know? So, as a bit of an add on to that video, I will also add that when you do find a level of peace, you have to be a little bit careful, because sometimes people will test that, and there's a very thin line between being a victim and being very kind and loving and forgiving and patient. So, yeah, that video was done quite a while ago, I'd say. It was in the middle of an awakening that I was having it. So things have changed a lot for me since, and I will be doing more videos to confirm and back up my story and everything else, and let people know what's happening to me now. Everything I say on those videos are from personal experience and for entertainment purposes only.